Flags up. That off. Just the 4. The Irish EBF Sheila Burke Novice Hurdle. Over 2 miles. The leader early on is heads up from Lazard the Star, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet. Turning across to the first flight, the leader by a couple of lengths. Heads up from Lazard the Star. That one stable companion, Steed Bonnet on the outside of Johnny Orr. Coming on away from flight 1. Heads up, Danny Mullins making the running. From Lazard the Star, Jack Kennedy and then Johnny Orr. Darragh O'Keefe just 3rd from Steed Bonnet and Danny Gilligan. Turning in for flights 2 and 3. No changes. It's heads up. Bowling along now by 2.5 to 3 lengths from Lazard the Star. 2 lengths behind Lazard the Star is Johnny Orr, and 4th of the 4, jumping the second flight, Steed Bonnet. Heads up. Makes the run to flight number 3, leading Lazard the Star, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet, as they set their sights on flight number 3, just at the end of the home straight. Heads up into it. From Lazard the Star, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet, almost in single file, running uphill. Heads up by 3 lengths to Lazard the Star, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet, as they turn towards the 4th flight at the bottom of the track. And the leader is heads up from Lazard the Star, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet. Still no changes from first to last. As they go to the 5th. Heads up, tracked all the while by Lazard the Star. Together in rear, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet. About to swing into the back straight, the Irish EBF Sheila Burke Novice Hurdle. Listed, heads up in front from the outset. Leads by 2 lengths to Lazard the Star. 3 in front of Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet as they go down the bag towards the halfway stage. And today's 4th. Heads up by under 2 lengths to the Lazard the Star. Matching strides 3 and 4, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet. Onto this flight. Bring them past their point of departure. Heads up, Lazard the Star, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet. Heading towards the final 5 furlongs. And the flight, which will be 3 from the finish. It's heads up, stoked by Lazard the Star, then Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet. Both very much in touch with 3 flights remaining. They tighten up the quartet, heads up from Lazard the Star. Rein back a length off the leader, and then Steed Bonnet shading 3rd from Johnny Orr. To the jump. Heads up by a length to Lazard the Star, Steed Bonnet and Johnny Orr. Running back for the final flight, the EBF Sheila Burke Novice Hurdle. It's heads up from Lazard the Star, who's now ridden along in 2nd. And then Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet as they pass the 2. 1 flight left to jump, and kicking on from the front is heads up from Lazard the Star, Johnny Orr and Steed Bonnet, and nearing the final flight. It is heads up, steadied into it from Lazard the Star, who's coming fighting back on the outside. Heads up is collared by Lazard the Star. Rallying strongly is heads up on the inside, and not to be denied from Lazard the Star and then the other pair.
Very interesting race to watch, and Heads Up has got back on track here. He's made just about all the running to see off a stern challenge from Lazard the Star. Heads Up at 5-2 in the hood first time today, as was the runner-up. And it was a good scrap between them from that final flight. Jack Kennedy went for everything at the last there, and Lazard the Star, and got the jump he was after, Don. But Heads Up had the answers. Here we are. It was a steadily enough run affair, but the key today was that Heads Up seemed to settle much better in the first time headgear.
That's it, exactly, Gary. It's good to see Heads Up bouncing back to form for John McConnell. Super ride by Danny Mullins. He got into a rhythm in front. He made a little bit of a mistake at the first flight, but after that his jumping was very good. And here Danny Mullins just winds it up from the front. He has all his rivals in trouble. Lazard Star takes him a little while to pick up. Remember, he won his novice or his maiden hurdle over 2.5 miles at Punchestown over Christmas. And he's just starting to pick up here. As you said, Jack Kennedy went for a jump at the last. He got it. Heads Up by contrast.
This was all Ducker now. Did it for Jack, wasn't it? Watch this.
And you can see Heads Up. Danny Mullins looking for the stride. He has to go in tight. He lands with not as much momentum as Lazard Star has. And Lazard Star's momentum takes him up almost level with Heads Up. But that, to me, that's really impressive, the way Heads Up battles back on the far side. He's gone on again, wins by 3 parts of a length in the end. And yeah, good to see him back. He finished second in the Grade 2 Hyde Novices Hurdle at the Cheltenham November meeting. He finished second in the Champion Bumper last season as well at Cheltenham. And out in front here, yeah, this is a likeable performance. He handles better ground as well. William Money won this race last year before going on to the Supreme. Tully Hill won it 2 years ago. He was sent off as favourite for the Supreme Novices Hurdle that year, I think. And Heads Up, yeah, good to see him bouncing back to form.
We'll find out whether Cheltenham is indeed the plan, but he's in the Supreme and the Turners. Don, what would be your gut feeling watching that?
I thought he was a Turners horse earlier in the season. Like, I know this is 2 miles and he showed a good pace as well, but he's a Champion Bumper runner-up. He finished second behind No Drama this end in the Hyde Hurdle at the November meeting. That's over 2 miles and 5. And look, it's John McConnell now. He's got options, and it's good that he does have options now.
I think Lazard Star's done an awful lot wrong.
No, I don't think so either. Like, you know, he just got caught a little bit flat-footed when Danny Mullins wound it up from the front and Heads Up. You could see Jack Kennedy got into the drive position long before they wheeled around the home turn, and he's picked up well. He jumped the last well when he needed to, when the pace was up. That's a big positive. And yeah, I'd say the 2 good horses, the first and second.
Heads Up then in the colours of Dara McDonough, ridden by Danny Mullins, has won this for trainer John McConnell. Back to Nick.
Cheers, Gary. And I know it's, 11 months ago, but some nice boosts for the Champion Bumper form in the last 24 hours. Dalston Lad finished 15th in the Champion Bumper, bolted up in the Prestige at Haydock yesterday. Caballero Cliff finished 4th at 150-1 in the Champion Bumper, bolted up yesterday at Wincanton. And Heads Up, who finished 2nd in the Champion Bumpers, just won here, denying Lazard Star, who traded for 100 quid at 50s on in the run. Looks really likely he was going to go and win, but Heads Up. Maybe Danny Mullins has saved a bit. Heads Up, found more, wanted more. 5-2 wins. John McConnell, the winning trainer. Well done to Darren McDonough, the winning owner. Lazard Star, 4-6 favourite, beaten 3/4 of a length.
Just going to walk back in with Danny Mullins after his win on Heads Up. Danny, that was much more like it today. Did you know from an early stage you were in business?
Yeah, like even going to the start today, he was chilled out. The delay in Cheltenham just got him wound up the last day, but he's a young horse. That the like of that exposure to that kind of thing is definitely going to stand to him in future. You know, he's going to be going back to big festivals again, and a good performance. You know, Gordon's horse that was second is a fair beast there as well. So nice way to hit the line strong.
Do you think the guys are well entitled to go to Cheltenham, and if so, what race would you recommend?
Yeah, I suppose that's one. After winning a nice graded race in Punchestown, you deserve a line-up in Cheltenham, but I'm sure there's going to be plenty of options and plans that'll go into the pot, and I suppose everyone will be having a chat and see where you'd want to go. You know, he's a horse with an engine, and that's the main problem sorted, and have a go at everything else after that.
That's it, he's back on track. We'll let you go punch it in. Cheers.
Thank you very much.
Watch live racing now on racingtv.com.